Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Tim back with another video, and I'm excited about today's video because it's one that's been highly requested for probably a year or more. People have been asking me to make this video, but I've been doing other stuff. You know, I've been working, I've been traveling, I've been busy, and part of it is I've been being lazy. But I finally wanted to make this video. It's the video about my top 3 recommended seasonal jobs. Been blessed to have been living the seasonal work lifestyle for about 5 years now. Been blessed to have worked at a number of different seasonal jobs. Not saying I am the seasonal work expert, but you know, I do think I have a little bit of knowledge now that I can share with the people. And so I wanted to talk about my top 3 seasonal jobs. Out of the seasonal jobs I've worked, I wanted to talk about the 3 that I recommend the most and why I recommend them. Now, if you follow this channel, you've heard me talk about all of these, but maybe there'll be some points I'll touch on in this one I didn't touch on in other videos. And also, if you're new to this channel, first off, hello, please subscribe, notification button, all of that. You know, if you're new to this channel, maybe you never heard about these, it'll be an introduction to you, can help you out. So let's get started. So this is not a super long video. Number 1, let's start at the top, work our way down to 3. Number 1, my number 1 recommended seasonal job would be the YMCA of the Rockies, Estes Park. Okay, it is the YMCA of the Rockies, located just outside of Estes Park, Colorado. Now, I know when I say YMCA, you're thinking of like some building down the street, and there's like a tepid pool, and you know, an old weight set in the back, and the kids come there after school and like hang out and smoke cigarettes and weed out back. No, it's not this type of YMCA. This is the world's largest YMCA. It has, I think, like hundreds of acres. Like, it's huge. Like, the place is huge. It actually borders Rocky Mountain National Park. So when you get there, one of the things you're first struck by is the fact that it is in the mountains, just like surrounded by some of the most gorgeous mountains. It is in a very picturesque location. Like, it is a beautiful location. Now, beyond that, beyond the scenery, beyond the wildlife that runs free, there's elk, there's deer, just all over the place. It is a great place to work for a number of different reasons. One of the reasons I recommend it the most is because it is truly a once you get there, everything else is taken care of seasonal job. Once you get there, everything else is taken care of. You get 3 meals a day available to you. 3 meals a day, buffet style meals. So you can get up and you know, get as much as you want. A lot of times, especially around dinner time, they urge you to get more food. Something rare at seasonal jobs. Even with the other ones I've been at that provided food, it was always like rationing, and they really didn't want you to eat that much. The YMCA was one of the few places where they actively were like, eat some more. You know, some stuff runs out, but it was I probably ate the best as far as like quantity at the YMCA of the Rockies. And like I said, that is included with your employment. Also, when it comes to housing, as soon as you get there, you got housing. It is seasonal work, so if certain times of the year you will have a roommate in the room with you, but certain times of the year, one of the things I did like about the YMCA, especially if you're a little older, like myself, I know you can't tell, but your boy is 40. If you're a little older like myself, you get your own room. They try to get you your own room if you're 30, I think over 30. But the housing is nice. It is right there on location, so you can just literally walk to work. There's no driving involved. If you don't have a vehicle, it's cool. Once you get there, your housing's right there. Your job is right there. It's a breeze. Like I said, the housing, yeah, from day one, it's there. It's provided free. You know, if you need pillows and sheets and all that other stuff, they'll help you out with that. It truly is like, as soon as you show up, everything is taken care of for you, because that's really all you need: food to eat, place to stay. You'll meet people, you'll make friends. You know, I worked in housekeeping, so it's the only department I can speak on, but some of the friendliest people I've ever worked with, really from the moment you started, the managers, crew leaders, all the other employees, really kind of, it was a close-knit, kind of like family-like environment, and you know, everyone looked out for you. So it's not like you're going to show up there and just be like, Where am I? What do I do? One of the places where I just felt like the quickest I kind of got assimilated and got with the program and like had people, you know, around me that were looking out for me. Another thing I like about the YMCA of the Rockies is just it is a YMCA. So, you know, don't get nervous. You know, the Young Men's Christian Association, are they going to be shoving Jesus down my throat? No, it's not like that. But there is kind of, since it is a YMCA, there is kind of a spiritual, I don't know, like you can feel it in the air. Though they don't shove it down your throat, there's no like, aside from the fact that you can't like drink or do drugs on the property, which I think is cool. Another reason I recommend it. Some seasonal jobs, they got way too much of that going on. The YMCA, no, you know, no drugs, no drinking on the premises. You can get fired for that. It's like grounds for immediate termination. But besides that, they're pretty chill. Like there's no, you know, you don't have to go to church on Sunday because you work there. They're open to all faiths, all religions, all sexual preferences, all, you know, races, all that. I mean, they're open to all of that. But there is kind of a spiritual overtone. There are like churches and chapels on the grounds that you can go to if you want to. I think there's a chaplain you can go talk to if you want to. And so I think there is something about like being around all that nature and then like being reminded about God or a creator that kind of helps you out if you're going for something like that. Like for me, seasonal work was like a start over in life. And you know, actually being at the YMCA helped me to stop drinking. I think if I hadn't done 8 months there, I probably would have kept drinking. But that environment really helped me. So, you know, love the YMCA for those reasons, plus many more. I could keep going, but I gotta move on to my number 2 place. In the description box, I will leave a link to the hiring page of all the jobs I mentioned. So if the YMCA sounds like something you're interested in, check the description box. I also made another video about the YMCA. I'll link to it right about now. It has a little more detail. So my number 2 recommended job is actually the job I am, well, currently working at, but it's the off season. So I won't be back for like another couple weeks, but it's the job that I'm currently in the midst of working at. And another one you've heard me talk a lot about, that is Big Sky Resort in beautiful Big Sky, Montana. I know, a lot of y'all don't even know where Montana is. A lot of y'all couldn't find Montana on a map. You know what's crazy? I've actually, in my mind, Montana still isn't on the US map where I think it is. Even though I know where it's at, like it's still, anyway, that's because I'm weird. But Big Sky Resort in Big Sky, Montana. Now, it is a ski resort, as the name says. It is only open for winter and summer. It is not a year-round seasonal job. I forgot to mention that about the YMCA. It's year-round. Big Sky Resort is not. So there are times when it's closed. They do have limited off-season work, but it is open winter, obviously. For skiing in summer, they do a lot of like golf and mountain biking and a lot of this other like stuff that country people do. They got a lot of stuff going on in the summer. I don't know what it's about. Anyway, but the reason I recommend it is for me, being in housekeeping, it is the seasonal job where I've made the most money. Money isn't everything, but you know, in our society, unfortunately, it's important. And if you're doing seasonal work, sometimes you still may have bills. Sometimes you get broke. I know it's happened for me that sometimes I was low. I'm like, I need to get back to Big Sky and kind of just, you know, get up on my funds. So in housekeeping, it's unique because they pay piecework, so they pay you by the room. So if you are a fast, good housekeeper like myself, you can make a lot more money than you would at another job housekeeping where you get paid by the hour. You know, I make way more money at Big Sky than I do at like another job making like $9 an hour. Okay. Work a little harder, but it's worth it. Another thing I really like about Big Sky Resort is, and this is kind of along the same vein, but I do feel like it's one of the jobs where if you are willing to work, there is like the most advancement opportunity, and they're willing to like pay. You know, there's a lot of seasonal jobs, there's a lot of opportunity for advancement because people don't stay around a lot, but Big Sky is one of the places that seems like they're really trying to find good people in some of their positions, the higher up positions, and they're actually willing to like show you the money. Really like that about Big Sky. It has housing as well. Some of the housing, depending on what season you come in. If you come in the summer, most of the housing is near the resort. If you come in the wintertime, since they hire so many people in the winter, like the employees double I think they go from like 700 to like in the summer to like 1500 in the winter. So some of the housing is down in Bozeman, which is like an hour and a half away, but there is transportation provided. But they do have housing. It's decent housing. You know, I've seen better, but I've seen way worse. And they are, I will say this for them, here lately they have really been putting forth the effort to improve their housing. So I gotta shout the resort out for that. A lot of places have the same housing they had in like 1983. Like they just do enough to like keep it going. But the resort has really been trying to, you know, fix their housing up. So kudos to them for that. The meal structure at the resort is a little different. You in the wintertime, you can eat in the cafe where all the guests eat, and you get like a percentage off. Some stuff is like they went through and like redid it. This year is going to be a little different. Before it was 50% off, like everything I think, but now they're going to have different stations and they're going to have different, you know, things in there, and I don't think you get 50% off all of them. So I'll update y'all on that when I find out what that is. But you get to eat in the cafeteria, you eat the same food as the guest, and you get a discount, and you can actually charge it to like your badge, so you don't have to pay right then, which is cool. It just kind of comes out of your check, as does the housing. The housing comes out of your check, so you don't really have to worry about having any money up front. The resort as well is in Big Sky, Montana. Beautiful area. I really love Big Sky and like living there and housing, because it is like a small community. Other than the foolishness that we employees get up to, there's really like no crime. It's a beautiful area, you know, like people are pretty nice. I mean, like there's a lot of stuff to do. If you ski or snowboard, it's great for you. I think you get a free ski pass. In the winter we get, in the summer you get like discounted passes for golf and things like that. But I do really, the reason I recommend the resort is because it does seem like they really do try for their employees. You know, worked a lot of places where, yeah, they want you to come work there. But it does seem like the resort does try for their employees. I know in my department, kind of anytime I've needed something, they've been there for me. And that's from days off, raises, you know, anytime I felt like I needed something or deserved something, we've had a conversation about it. And for the most part, you know, especially they agreed with me and it worked. And if they ever couldn't do something for me, they talked to me about it. But definitely seems like a place, like I said, I can't speak on all departments, but from what I've seen, you know, definitely looks out for the employees and tries to keep good people around. And that's important if you're, you know, some people want to go from seasonal job to seasonal job. Some people, you know, want to stay somewhere. I know a lot of people who, you know, stay at the resort. A buddy of mine was there for 14 years. You know, so definitely check out Big Sky Resort. They have a ton of different positions other than just like housekeeping. I mean, there's all the wintertime mountain, I don't know what they do on the mountain, I don't ski, but all them positions if you're into all that. But then of course you got housekeeping, you got all the hotel stuff, you got all the restaurant stuff. And another thing I like about the resort, or Big Sky, you can work at the resort and then there's tons of part-time second job opportunities. Goes back to what I was saying about the money. If you want to make some money, you can go to the resort, work there, your days off in the evenings. There's tons of places around that are hiring. It is so easy to get a second job. Almost all the internationals who come work get second, third jobs. It's a great place to come. You want to stack up some money. Like, great place. Third and final, this is a place I don't talk about as much, but I have talked about it in the past. It is the place I worked at in Alaska. Little small side of the road lodge hotel restaurant called Trail Lake Lodge. Okay, I worked there in the summer of 2016, I think, and it was just a great experience. One of the things I liked about Trail Lake Lodge is the fact there's not a lot of employees. Okay, so I spent a lot of time working at places with hundreds of employees, and sometimes this can just be, I'm used to it, but sometimes you just want to break from that. When I worked at Trail Lake Lodge, there was like 10 people working there, I think, if that many. It was like 10 people, so it was like really close knit. You didn't have, when you work at a place with a ton of people, there's all this people coming and going and all this drama. It's always something. Not as much when there's only 10 people, you know, so I did appreciate that. Employee housing was a lot quieter. We all lived in the same building. They actually had, you wouldn't think so, but they actually had single occupancy rooms. Trail Lake Lodge. I don't know if it's still that way, but me, I was the head of housekeeping. I got my own room. A couple of the other people got their own room. So I thought that was cool. Housing was our own little building attached to the hotel. We had a kitchen, everything in there, cable, Wi-Fi that was decent. And it was in this just beautiful, picturesque, the town of Moose Pass, Alaska, which is as small as it sounds. It was really just, like I always say, if like the lodge wasn't there, wouldn't be nothing there. It was just houses, a library, a post office, and like there was a school, oddly enough, and the lodge is on a mountain. It's on a lake, mountains all around. When you envision like an Alaska vacation in the summer, this is the place that pops in your head. The owner was a guy by the name of Steamer, a really cool guy. He's about business. You know, he's a retired Marine Corps colonel. So he's used to, like, when we tell you to do something, he's used to people doing it. So there was no foolishness, which I like that as well. There was no foolishness with Steamer. He's very fair, great guy, really loved working for him. And I like the fact there that, like, I could go and talk to the owner if I had an issue. You know, a lot of jobs, you have an issue, you got to go through like 8 layers of people. There's this whole chain of command. If there's an issue, me and a guest, I can go talk right to the owner. If he's on the same page as me, I'm good. You know, so I appreciated that. Housing, as I mentioned, the meals, it was set up where you got on the shift you worked, you got 50% off the meals. Any other time it was 25%. So what I would do was just, you know, when I was working at lunch, I would go buy like lunch and dinner. You could do, you know, and get the 50% off. But the 50% off was great because Alaska is expensive. But other than that, I mean, there was a kitchen and housing. So if you wanted to like go into Seward and go to the Safeway and buy food and bring it back, you could. You didn't have to eat at the restaurant because that was like kind of the only place nearby. But I'm lazy and I don't cook, so I ate at the restaurant. The work was really, I mean, it's just a restaurant and like 21 hotel rooms. It was super easy, like super chill, super laid back. You know, in housekeeping, there was 3 of us. Once we got the rooms cleaned, you know, if we wanted to get off work, we could. It wasn't one of those, you have to get 8 hours a day. If we wanted to work some more, we just found some odd jobs around the place to work some more. And then we'd just be off, hang out, go hiking, whatever. You know, it was just, I enjoyed having a laid back summer. After all the summers I've had where it's, you know, so many hotel rooms every day, busy, busy, busy. Here it was just kind of more like, we just got to get it done and let's have fun. So you definitely, if you've always, like I recommend Alaska to everyone working seasonal work. And if you want a good place in Alaska, I highly recommend Trail Lake Lodge. Close to Seward, Alaska. Seward's like 30-45 minutes down the road. It's a cool small town. I go visit there a lot. And like Anchorage is like 2 hours away. If you really want to, you know, enjoy the city life. You know, so you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but you have options of places to go. So I'll leave, like I said, I'll leave the description, the link to the Trail Lake Lodge website, which they have a really good website. One of the reasons I went with them initially is because their website was so detailed. Told me everything I need to know. And 2, when Steamer called me for the interview, it was one of the best phone interviews I've ever had because he was just real. So if you apply and he calls you, you'll see what I'm talking about. Definitely check out Trail Lake Lodge. As well as the other places I mentioned in this video, Big Sky Resort, the YMCA. I know I missed some things because A, I insist on doing videos off the top of my head, and B, because I don't want this to be like a 3-hour video. So if you have any questions on any of these, feel free, please. My social media will be in the description box. You can hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Hit up my little Timothy Ward Facebook page, or you can just leave it in the comment box here. You know, any questions you have, and people hit me up all the time, and I will say I respond to 99% of them. So hit me up, ask me whatever you need to know, whatever you need clarification on. I don't mind answering it for you because I think seasonal work is a great opportunity that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm trying to do whatever I can to get more people living this seasonal work lifestyle because it has been so good for me and it's changed my life for the better. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.